Hello students, myself Japriya Raith, and today I'll be telling you a story. The story of Prahlada. This version of the story, which was handed down from generation to generation, was written by Sister Nivedita, who lived in the 19th century. Hiranyakashyap was the king of the Daityas. He defeated all the gods and seated himself on the throne of the three worlds, declaring that nowhere in the universe was there any god but himself, and that both demons and men must worship him alone. So the king Hiranyakashyap, he was the king of the Daityas, and he defeated all the gods and became the king of three worlds, that is heaven, earth and hell. And he declared that there is nothing as such god. There are no gods in the world and everyone should worship him. Everyone should worship King Hiranyakashyap only. So both demons and men started worshipping him. Soon after his victory, a little son was born to him, and he named the child Prahlada. So people started worshipping King Hiranyakashyap as the god, and soon a little boy was born to him, and he named the boy Prahlada. Curiously enough, with such a father, little Prahlada proved to be a very religious child. He seemed to have inborn ideas about worship and about the gods. So unlike his father, Prahlada was a very religious child. He worshipped God, just opposite as his father. His father wanted that Prahlada should worship him, but Prahlada, he worshipped God. He had inborn ideas about God and worshipping them. And his father, who had determined to drive the thought of the deities out of the world, was greatly troubled about him. So this made King Hiranyakashyap worry. He wanted his son should worship him, but his son was worshipping other gods. At last, he made up his mind to put Prahlada in the hands of a very stern teacher with strict orders that he was never to be allowed to worship anyone but his own father. So at last his father decided that Prahlada should get a very strict teacher, and that teacher was ordered that Prahlada should not be allowed to worship anyone but King Hiranyakashyap only. The teacher, to have him better under his control, took the prince to his own home. It was all to no purpose. When they taught him his alphabet, showing him the letter K, the child would say, "Yes, that is for Krishna," and learn it eagerly. "G for Gopala," said Prahlada. So teacher, to have better control over Prahlada, took him to his own house. And there, when he taught him alphabets, when the teacher showed Prahlada letter K, Prahlada said, "Yes, K for Krishna," and G for Gopala. Gopala is also the other name for Krishna. Everything that they could teach him, he applied at once in this way. Not only did he himself talk of nothing but Krishna, he spent much of his time also in teaching his worship to the boys around him. So Prahlada kept worshipping and talking about Krishna only. He not only thought about God himself, but he also made the other boys that were studying with him, he also made them think about Krishna, and they told him that even they should worship Krishna. This was too much. After struggling in vain to reform his pupil, the distressed teacher felt that he must appeal to Hiranyakashyap, or the mischief would soon spread too far to set right. The teacher couldn't take it anymore, so the teacher decided that he will report about this to King Hiranyakashyap. If he does not, and the things go out of his hand, then it might not be good for the teacher as well. So he wanted to inform King Hiranyakashyap about all these things. The king's anger was great, and he sent for his son. The king was very furious on hearing this, and immediately he called his son. "I hear that you have been worshipping Krishna," he thundered at the little boy who stood before the throne. He said, King Hiranyakashyap asked Prahlada, "I hear that you have been worshipping Krishna." Prahlada said, "Yes, father," said Prahlada, bravely, "I have." So Prahlada very bravely admitted the fact that yes, he had been worshipping Krishna. "Are you going to promise me that you will never do it again?" asked the king. No, father, I cannot promise, said little Prahlada. So the king Hiranyakashyap wanted a promise from Prahlada that Prahlad won't worship Lord Krishna again. But Prahlada did not give his father a promise. Prahlada said that I will keep worshipping Lord Krishna. You cannot promise, shouted his father in amazement at his daring. His father was amazed that Prahlada spoke to him with such a daring. But I can have you killed. His father said that I could have killed you. If you don't promise me, I'll kill you. Not unless it is the will of Krishna, said the child firmly. So the child said that until and unless Lord Krishna wants me dead, nobody can kill me. We'll see about that, said Hiranyakashyap. So Hiranyakashyap said that okay, if this is what you believe, we'll see about it. He ordered his guards to take Prahlada and throw him, though he was his own son, down to the bottom of the ocean, and there pile up rocks on top of him. So King Hiranyakashyap he ordered his men to throw Prahlada into the ocean. Though Prahlada was his own son, but still King Hiranyakashyap was very rude to him. Not only he told his men to throw Prahlada in the bottom of the ocean, but he also told them to pile up rocks on top of him so that he is not able to come to the surface again. He hoped up to the last minute that the little one would be frightened and run back to give the promise he required. So King Hiranyakashipu was hoping that Prahlada would become frightened and he would come back running to Hiranyakashipu and give him the promise that he wanted. But Prahlada did not come. The fact was, he was worshipping Krishna in his heart with such a feeling of love and happiness that he had scarcely heard his father's words and did not even notice when they put him on a stone slab and piled huge blocks of rock on top of him and threw the whole great mass out into the ocean. But Prahlada did not go to his father. He did not go to his father and give him the promise. Instead, Prahlada was worshipping Lord Krishna in his mind with such devotion and he was indulged in prayer that he did not even hear what his father was ordering his men. And soon he saw that he was sitting on a stone slab and huge blocks of rocks were piled on top of him. He never noticed. He had forgotten all about himself. That was the secret of it. So Prahlada, he did not notice anything happening around him. And that was the secret of what happened next to him. And no rocks could keep him down, the one who showed such devotion and forgot himself. So what happened, as Prahlada was thrown into the ocean and huge rocks were piled upon him, he was continuously praying to Krishna and with such a devotion that no rocks could keep him down. So everything fell aside and he rose again to the surface of the water. So what happened? The rocks that were piled on top of Prahlada, they fell aside and Prahlada came onto the surface again. Then Prahlada came to himself and found himself kneeling on the shore, face to face with Lord Krishna himself. So suddenly Prahlada came into reality and he saw that he was kneeling in front of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was standing right in front of Prahlada. The lotus-eyed one smiled gently. Lord Krishna is also known as the lotus-eyed one. Light seemed to be streaming out around him in all directions. So it seemed that there was light everywhere where the Krishna was standing. It seemed that the light was there in all the direction. And he put his hand on Prahlada's head to bless him, saying, "My child, ask of me what thou wilt." So Lord Krishna was very happy. He was standing in front of Prahlada and he put his hand on Prahlada's head and blessed him and told him, "My child, you can ask me whatever you want." "Oh Lord," said Prahlada, "I don't want long life or riches." Prahlada said, "Lord, I don't want long life, and neither do I want riches or anything like that. But do give me a love of God that will never change in my heart, however much other things may come and go around me." So he asked Lord Krishna to only give him the love of God that should never change. No matter what comes and goes, the love of God in his heart should remain same. He does not want long life, neither does he want any riches. Prahlada, said the Lord Krishna solemnly, you shall always be my soldier. So this made Lord Krishna very happy, and he told Prahlada, I'll always be with you. You shall always be my soldier. Then everything that was beautiful disappeared. So the Lord Krishna, he disappeared suddenly. For the king's guards had found Prahlada again and were carrying him once more into his father's presence. So King Hiranyakaship's guard, they found Prahlada again on the surface of the water. So they again took Prahlada in front of his father. Who brought you out of the sea? Said Hiranyakashipu, scarcely believing his own eyes. So when Hiranyakashipu saw Prahlada standing right in front of him, he could not believe his eyes. And he asked him, who helped you out of the sea? Who brought you out? Krishna, said the child. What name did you dare to utter? Said his father, growing purple with fury. So King Hiranyakashipu, he had turned purple. He was so angry that he turned purple, and he asked him, what name did you take? How dare you utter his name? Krishna's, said Prahlada. Whose is this Krishna of yours? Asked Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu said, if Krishna brought you out, where is he? But Prahlada's eyes opened wide in wonder. Why? He said, he is everywhere. So Prahlada said, why are you asking me this? Krishna is everywhere. Even in this pillar? Said the king mockingly. So the king, he made fun of Prahlada and asked him, is your Krishna present even in this pillar? Yes, even in this pillar, answered his little son. Prahlada told him, yes, Krishna is present in this pillar. The king uttered a loud jeering laugh. Let him appear to me, then, he cried. So the king again laughed at Prahlada, and he told him, okay then, tell your Krishna to come in front of me. I want to see him in whatever form best pleases him. So Krishna can come in whatever form he wants. I just want to see him. At this demand, the pillar cracked from side to side, and out sprang one, half like a man and a half like a lion. So as King Hiranyakashipu demanded to see Krishna, at that time the pillar cracked and it moved side to side, and from the pillar came out a person, and he was half like a man and half like a lion, and he leapt upon the king and tore him into pieces. So the Daityas were driven out and the Devas took their own places once more. So as the Krishna came out in the form of half a man and half a lion, he leapt upon King Hiranyakashipu and he tore him to pieces and killed him. So the Daityas were thrown out and the gods once again took their places. So what is the moral of the story? The story teaches us about the greatness of God. God is everywhere. If one chants God's name with devotion, He saves one in all circumstances. And faith in Him can create miracles. So students should always worship God, have faith in Him, and trust Him. So students, thank you for being attentive. I hope you've enjoyed the story. Thank you.